at a young age, if we can give them like, this is their default, this is where they, come back to, and we're sort of like programming their brains in this way, since they're not even fully developed at that age, that we can really give them a strong hold on themselves, so that later on in life, they're not, struggling, or they're not.
Hello, Amanda. Welcome. And tell me, what inspired you to become a health and wellness and life coach?
Oh, well, for me, really, my journey through my health and wellness really brought me to this place.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's also now in the world more than ever, such an important piece of, our ability to thrive. And so being able to focus on that, not only for myself, but being able to share that with others, especially young people. I know, myself as a teen, like I struggle to figure it all out. And so I don't want others to have to struggle in that same way. And so being able to, educate myself and then share that knowledge with others just really, inspired me to do this work.
Yeah. Okay. So working with health and wellness is one of my passions, and I'm really excited to have you here to talk about your experiences in that area, especially that you're focusing on the area of teens as well. So, with your coaching, your demographic, I presume, has an age span somewhere from 12 to 25, something like that. Is that the room that you operate in? Great. Mm-hmm. Tell us about, how that really unfolds for you, where you apply it.
Yeah. So really, a lot of inspiration does come from my journey. And I think being able to share that with other young people and letting them know that they aren't alone, or the things that they're struggling with, right, isn't things that are unusual. Like, that we all kind of struggle through this age and stage of like trying to figure out who I am, trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. And it's a lot to figure out at such a young age. And then throw in some peer pressure and, the whatever pressure from parents, though it's well-intentioned, sometimes, that does add a certain level of pressure. So just helping them to like navigate such an important part of their life, it's just such a blessing. I'm just so grateful to be able to be there for them and show them that, yes, there's going to be struggle, there's going to be challenge throughout their entire life. But if we can give them a baseline of, effective goal setting tools, stress management strategies, essential life skills, then they'll be able to have those in their little toolbox for the rest of their lives. And I mean, I would have loved, I would have loved to have that.
Yeah, I guess with mentoring and coaching and looking after teens, there's such issues of diet and rest and sleep, whereas, they're out partying and doing what they do, and they don't realize that they're setting up patterns for later on, and how expensive that can be when they get into their mature years. And if they can get some really good tracks to run on when they're young, that's awesome. So why did you choose teens? Where did your passion come from to coach teens?
I've always loved kids. From a very young age, I was like, even in school during recess, I was helping out in the other, kids' classrooms and giving up my recess so that I could spend time with the kids. Like, I've always just been very drawn to kids. I also have quite a few siblings, and I'm the oldest. So I always kind of fell into this, like, setting an example, being that role model. And so it was just kind of something that I knew that going into coaching, that I was going to be working with young people, because I not only like I have a passion, even to this day, like I'll disappear from the party with my friends and everyone's like, where did Amanda go? And then, it's kind of just go look for the kids and you'll find Amanda. Like, so I've always just been like so drawn to kids. I feel like, again, the importance of giving them this foundation for their future. Although I believe, mentoring, coaching, like any of it is so great at any age and stage. But at a young age, if we can give them, like, this is their default, this is where they, come back to, and we're sort of like programming their brains in this way, since they're not even fully developed at that age, that we can really give them a strong hold on themselves, so that later on in life, they're not, struggling, or they're not, in a space of severe anxiety or depression. They're able to manage. And that just, to me, is it's so important. So yeah, that's really what kind of brought me to young people in a nutshell. I just love young people.
Well,
Just so much fun.
Yeah, I guess that's the future of our world. The young people will be carrying on. I just about 2 weeks ago turned 69, so I'm going on 15. I'm a young person, but
Yes.
what I realize is young people are so hungry to learn, so hungry for life hacks, real life hacks, Say, how do I avoid ending up like that? Because they're really judging the older generation quite severely, because they look at the mess that our current state of affairs are in worldwide, and who's responsible? It's not young people under the age of 15, is it? I mean, they're helplessly caught up in a lot of this. So tell us about your mission with other coaches. What's happening there?
Yeah. So really, the big mission, the big vision, the big goal is for every young person to have a coach. And with that being said, I know that isn't just like, I'm not everybody's coach. That's by any means, that's not what I mean. I really want to be able to have the opportunity to support other coaches as well, so that they are able to work with young people as well. Like, there are so many other coaches out there that are, considering working with young people, whether they're a teacher or they just have similar passion to me, that they've always just, been drawn to young people. And I want them to really, explore that and be able to work together and create a community, because I'm only one person, and hesitate to use the word can't, because I don't use that very often, but I can't do this alone. Like, this is a team effort. We need a community. If every teen is going to have a coach, then it's not just me. So I want to be able to support other coaches as well, so that way they can become the coach for, the person that they're supposed to be a coach for,
I really love that, because mentoring other mentors is a really rewarding and enriching life. It's very fulfilling when you get to see young people become mature and pillars in their own community and start to take responsibility and say, hey, look, I've been there, I've done this, and it's not a good idea. Why don't you come over here and listen to me? I'm a youth mentor, or whatever the case may be. And as I watch and see youth mentors move out into the world and do their thing, I'm emotionally choked up, because when I was doing it years ago, there was just no one there. So it's it's really great, and that's what attracted me to get you on board, because I've been watching your channels and your communications and your posts on social media, and I thought, this lady's going for it, and there's a lot of people that need to hear from you and hook up into your community and realize that there's support everywhere for everybody into this. So what is your favorite part about coaching? What do you love about it?
Ooh. I don't know if I could pick one thing, but if I had to pick, I would definitely, like, on the top, like probably like top 5. Like, it's hard for just one, but I'll go with
I'll let you have a couple, so
yeah.
you can rattle them off.
Perfect. One of the first things would definitely top of mind, like really actually seeing the transformation, right? Like looking at a client that comes in and where they're at initially, like so confused, so lost, feeling, the low self-esteem, not even understanding like how to set goals, how to achieve goals, and just feeling, a little bit discouraged. And then, that end transformation where they're confident, they're excited, they're empowered, they're just ready to move to the next steps in their life and do that independently with confidence. It's like, I'm like getting so excited just thinking about it, because it's so amazing to see how even just in a short period of time with a few simple strategies, or even just, opening the doors for them to be seen and heard. Sometimes that's all that they need. And so I think that when you're able to provide that space for them, it's just like, that's definitely one of the best parts.
I can imagine holding the space, and when they know someone is genuinely interested and totally believes in their future positivity, and they know they're not just raining in their pockets, they know that you are sincere and heartfelt towards their future and towards their unfolding, even for mature age people at all various walks in life. It's like lights come on. It's like, it's expansive. That's the word. It's expansive. The constriction of their life disappears. I can really identify with your passion. So tell me more. What else do you like?
Oh boy. I think knowing that like how we're talking about impact, right? It's not just necessarily, typically I'm in a session one-on-one, and being able to see that larger impact of like, well, hey, like now my relationship, like I still have, touch points with teens specifically when I'm working with them, touch points with the parents. And so it's so incredible to me to see that, maybe in the sessions, we might not necessarily be solely focused on their relationship with their parents, right? But when, I meet with the parent after, and they're telling me our relationship is so improved, and, their communication, just the way that their child is showing up in the world is just so much more calm, and just the way that they communicate, right? And so being able to have the ripple effect, being able to see that it's not only just the teen that's benefiting from it, it's also the parents. And then I've had situations where I work with some athletes, and so their coaches have actually commented on the amazing improvements that they've seen in the teen. So it's that, it's not just, yes, we're working with a teen and it's amazing to see that transformation. Like, it just gets me so excited, but also knowing that, they're going to go out there and it's going to affect their relationship with their parents. It's also going to even impact their friends. Like, I've had teens where I've worked with them and then they've told their friends about me, and then I end up working with their friends. And so it's so cool that, yes, maybe, we are in a coaching session influencing or working with one individual, but how it's just so much bigger than that. It's not just, that teen that is benefiting from it, which I think is just incredible.
So it's like a ripple effect. And what I find amazing, what I can see is that a lot of these young people that have gone through a mentorship or coaching scenario for several months, weeks, whatever it is, they may not become mentors or coaches themselves, but they become mentors and coaches inadvertently without recognition, because they now realize that they've had those life hacks, they've had that support, and I can see those sort of floundering without it. So that's amazing. So tell me, what is your greatest challenge in this whole area? What challenges you?
It's a good question. I think my greatest challenge seems to be my greatest motivator. So it's, you know, that the world is so big, right?
Yeah.
There are so many teens. And so this challenge of accomplishing my mission, like my goal is for every teen to have a coach. And so there are a lot of teens out there, which is a challenge, but that motivates me to keep going. That motivates me to do things like this, to reach out to more people, to, you know, get in places where I'm able to impact more people, or even just more people are more aware that this even exists. Like you were saying, you know, a few years back, this was kind of, you know, like working with young people, like, and I've met so many people that, I mean, in the coaching world, like I've done so many trainings that I've met so many coaches, but so many of them are working with adults, which is amazing. And I think that everybody could use a coach at some point in their life.
Me too.
Right? Like,
Me
like
too.
right now I have 3 coaches, like, and I love it. Like, I just think that it's so powerful. And so, but talking to those other coaches and, you know, saying, you know, I work with young people, they're like, oh, that's interesting. Like, and there isn't one person yet that I've met that says, well, that's silly. Like, why would you? Every single person is like, where were you when I was a teenager? I wish I had that. Like, so, you know, just being able to spread that awareness and make it known that there is support out there. There is support available, because often I feel like young people are overlooked in the world, and they shouldn't be. Like, they deserve just as much to be seen and heard as anybody else. And I just think of how incredible it is when they are seen and heard at a young age, and how that translates into their future. Kind of going back to what we were talking about before, you know, like that this is how they grow. And so they learn to express themselves, and that, you know, being seen and heard is something that is good for them to grow. And oh man, I could go on for days, but I just like
it's
that,
very cool,
right? It's just that having that big mission, yes, is a challenge, but it's a challenge that, like, I'm taking on full force, and I will not stop until I've made it happen. So,
wow.
like, kind of like a challenge motivator, you know, like 2 in 1.
I love it. I love it. I witnessed today that whole teen child thing in someone who's 41, and they were just bewildered that they were coming alive and their life was lighting up at that age. And I thought, this is youth mentoring, even though the person is 41. And I was quite emotional. I held it back because I realized how constricted that person had been from a young age, and how they've been held back till now. And that child part that needs expression, that needs recognition, it's their identity has been stifled, suffocated. Now it's been bonsai, pruned and clipped.
Yes.
So, yeah. Moving forward, building your vision, how will you know that you are making that impact? I know you already are, and you are, but what sort of indicators are there for you that your vision's become expansive? I guess, is there a quantity of coaches, or is there a network or a structure that you see? How does your vision look? I'm interested to see your vision for the future, because I think what you do is beautiful, and I totally respect what you do, and I can see the impact it has on lives. So tell me a little bit about your vision for the future.
Yeah, it's more of what I'm doing already, and it just is continuing to grow exponentially, which is like so amazing. And I feel like when we can just be an example for what is possible and show up authentically, like that to me is one of the most important things. Like, if you can just continue to show up authentically and in a space to support and serve others in the best way possible, there's nothing more that, yes, there's the business and there's the, the structure and there's, the marketing and there's all of the things, the pieces. But I feel like when we can show up as our most authentic self and fully in alignment with who we are and just lead by that example, then everything else just falls into place. There's no need to force it or, make it happen. It's already happening. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess in the simplest terms, I interpret it as being yourself, your authentic self, your real self, being who you really are, appreciating your role models and identifying with that, but having a really healthy self-esteem and self-love and a belief within yourself. So therefore, when you reach out for that vision, someone or several people believe in you, and you can move towards that. We're currently talking to Amanda, let's see, Chatzikonstantinou. How'd I do? So from Hello Your True Self, yes? And Amanda, we met online some time ago, and we had a chat, quite a lengthy chat, and I realised this remarkable young lady is doing a stellar job out there in the world, and she's touching the lives of other coaches. I work with Rick, from Mana Youth Project, and he spoke very highly of you and enjoyed his time online with you. And I mentioned to him that we were going to talk, and he said kudos and give her your regards. So there you go. But we support you here on our channel and believe that you're going to make a mark. So what do you see for yourself in the future?
Every teen has a coach.
Every team has a coach.
That's it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Well, you can find Amanda at Hello Your True Self. We will be putting all her social links in the footnotes of the video. And thank you so much for your valuable time. I hope we can get to do this again, and we might pick out a unique topic around teens that might be useful to the teens themselves. Even though our channel reaches out to such a widespread audience, I'm hopeful that you can use this to let the world know how passionate you are, and they can come to you for advice in the area of structuring coaching and reaching out to other coaches, because communities are where the future are at. So there we have it from Amanda, and really appreciate her time and enthusiasm. It's infectious and I love it. So remember to subscribe, and here we go, subscribe and ring the bell. Because ringing the bell is important. I didn't realize that if you subscribe on a YouTube channel, it doesn't mean as much as if you ring that bell for the notifications, and it helps your algorithms get out there. So there you have it, friends and folks out there. Amanda Chatzikonstantinou from Hello Your True Self. And don't forget to, or remember to have a look into her socials and website and see the work she's doing. It's amazing. So thank you, Amanda.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always so great to connect with you. So thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure.